Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, or afternoon. I'm not really sure which it is yet. As most of y'all know, I'm not there in person today. I am actually down the street at Emory Midtown University Hospital, or Crawford Long, as many of y'all know it, having a baby, or maybe I've even already had a baby. Y'all should know by now, hopefully. Hopefully I know. And I hate that I can't be there with you in person, but I didn't want to be left out of this discussion because I think it's a really important discussion that we're having here today. And I thought, given that I am literally delivering a baby today, I am someone who is very familiar with some of the steps that are being discussed today, and somebody who's gone through all that process very recently. And I know there's been a lot of talk about when tests for fetal anomalies can take place and when they do take place. And I just wanted to tell you my experience. I had many of the tests to test for fetal anomalies around 20 and 21 weeks. And when you have those tests, you go into your doctor's office and you have your test. You have blood work done, give samples, all sorts of all sorts of things, and then those samples are taken and tested, and then they come back to you, and that alone takes time. It was usually about a week before I would find out how those initial tests went, but that wasn't the end. You know, fortunately for me and my husband, everything came back from those initial tests normal, and we didn't need to go any further. But if those levels had tested, if my levels had tested abnormally, there would have been another test, and then there would have been another waiting period. So for me, when I started, let's say even the earliest test that I took, starting at 20 weeks, we're not talking about a decision. We're not talking about me having the results immediately. We're not even talking about me having the results a week later. We're talking about most likely 2 or maybe even 3 weeks later. And again, very fortunately, my husband and I didn't have anything come back abnormal. We didn't have to make a difficult decision about what to do if we were faced with knowing that our child might not make it very long outside of the womb, or would have a very challenging life with complications that I don't even want to imagine right now. We didn't have to make those choices, but so many women do. And that is their choice. That is their choice with their husband and their God and their doctor. And I can't imagine being those women and having gone through the process and followed my doctor's advice and taken the tests when I was told to take the tests, and then being told that being able to make a decision based on those tests was ripped away from me by this General Assembly. And not only that decision was ripped away from me, but then that I would be forced to carry a child to term that I knew was not going to be able to live outside the womb. And having been here in this house for the last several weeks has been, pretty amazing for me. Y'all have been, the family atmosphere that exists under the dome has really come to light. Every day, you come by my desk and you ask me, how are you doing? How is the baby? How's the nursery coming along? Is it a girl? Is it a boy? I can't even, and you can tell I'm tearing up a little bit here, I can't even imagine having to answer those questions, knowing that I was carrying a child that may not live outside of my hospital stay. And as much as I know that y'all care about me and care about the women of Georgia, the decision about what to do if I were faced with that terrible situation would be mine. Again, it would be mine, my husband's, my God's, and my doctor's. And as much as you care about me, you would not be in that doctor's office with me when I was faced with that very difficult situation. And none of us in here are going to be with the millions of women, hundreds, thousands, however many there are, that would be faced with these difficult decisions. As much as I know you care about Georgia, I do too. Those are the decisions for our daughters, for our sisters, for our aunts, for our friends. They're not ours. Trust the women of Georgia. These are incredibly difficult decisions that I'm so thankful that I haven't had to make. But I know that many of my sisters in the state have had to and will have to. And again, it's their decision. It's not ours. You would trust me to make the decision, I believe. And we should trust every woman of Georgia and her family and her God and her doctor to decide what to do in this difficult situation. It's not our decision. Thank you for letting me speak to you by video, and I'll see y'all soon.